So our leadership award today goes to the New York State Nurses Association. And I'd like Yasmin to kind of work her way toward the front. We recognize the New York State Nurses Association for heroically fighting the pandemic with nurses statewide as COVID shed a light on the shameful health disparities experienced by people of color, particularly African Americans. NISNA represents more than 42,000 members in New York State. They are New York's largest union and professional association for registered nurses. Nancy Hagans, the new president of the association, was not able to join us this evening. But this is what she said about NISNA and nurses. And I quote, "We are a very powerful force for patients and their communities. Our voice is respected, our skills are professional, our roles central to society's health care. As I take on the responsibilities of the presidency, and a landmark staffing law has just been achieved. What a victory. The law represents years of outreach and action by our members and fellow caregivers to communities whose collective voices were heard. The staffing law is a giant step forward towards our goal of equity in health care. Our fundamental belief that health care is a human right shall not be deterred." You can tell something about the depth of an organization when the president has to cancel an appearance at the last minute and they have no problem finding someone else to represent the group. And this is what I heard about Yasmin Beausejour. She has been a nurse for over 20 years. She currently works at LIJ Valley Stream Hospital. She is tireless and a vocal advocate for her fellow nurses and the nursing profession. She is a former NISNA board member who remains active and steadfast in her commitment to nurses and the patients they serve. Please help me welcome Yasmin, who will accept the award, and I think she has some other nurses that she would like to come up as well for a photo.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Good evening. It is a pleasure to be amongst you tonight in person. My name is Yasmin Beausejour. I am a registered nurse and a leader of the New York State Nurses Association. I'm here to accept Erase Racism Leadership Award on behalf of our president, Nancy Hagans, and the more than 42,000 nurses and professionals NISNA represents across the state. We are truly honored to be recognized by Erase Racism, who's leading the way in addressing institutional and structural racism in New York. As a union, we are made up of women, primarily, and marginalized people. We understand that the fight for justice is perpetual. And as a union, with a significant number of nurses who are immigrants or come from immigrant families, we understand the danger of xenophobia and racism. The past couple of years have changed us profoundly as we experience a pandemic that has killed over 500,000 Americans. Throughout this crisis, essential workers have held New York together in the most difficult. Sorry. It was just so hard to just to observe what went on in the field, working with, seeing so many people dying from COVID. It was really hard. I was just part of it, and among with other nurses, I cannot tell you how hard it was. Having to speak to family members over the phone, not being able to see their loved ones dying, it was just really hard. And
thank you.
as nurses, we recognize every patient as a human being in need of care and compassion. And we will continue to channel the empathy and equality as we fight with bigotry, intolerance, and hate, fueling current politics. Our work is not just about doing the right thing. We fight because our own survival depends on it. When we show up and engage in the struggle for justice, we improve conditions for our patients that we serve and the community that we call home. This is our reward. It is also our responsibilities. If there's something positive to result from the events of the past year, which have taken so many lives, we hope that this is a recognition of the important role that we can all play in protecting the public health and the dire need to address longstanding inequalities. So we thank you for this award, and we will continue to make the world a better place for all people, regardless of race, gender, or whatever. We are nurses, and thank you.
Oh, and Jasmine, I just realized that I did not give you your award.
Where are my nurses? Let's go. Thank you.
Okay.